All honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Mashiach, Malak Yahushua. Another strong shalom to all of the mighty brothers out there laboring on the highways and byways, making their body a living sacrifice. In the rain, the tumults, the demons, the uprises, the uproars, you standing 10 toes down for the name of the Lord, man. Another strong shalom to all of the mighty brothers that are not out there as of yet, but building themselves up, reading, praying, fasting, being diligent, studying, doing everything you can do to make the calling of your election sure. Another strong shalom to all of the mighty Akwaf in this thing, reverencing their husbands, being teachers of good things to the children at home, right? Being shamefaced, right? Another strong shalom to the women that are not married as of yet, but building themselves up, being shamefaced, loving, submissive, right? On fire for the Lord, man. And another strong shalom, right, to all of the children in this thing that are zealous, on fire, being diligent, doing everything they could do, right, to make the calling of the election sure, man. And this is going to be an in-depth breakdown of Revelations, the 13th chapter, right? We're going to go over the mark of the beast. We're going to go over the two beasts. We're going to go into the European power, you understand? And we're going to literally go through it through the spirit of power, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man, right? And we got to continue to be in prophecy in these last days, man. Don't be occupied in things, right, that are not going to get you salvation. Don't going to be sitting there, right, looking at folly all day, man. You got to pick up the sword. You got to read the words of life. You got to be occupied in prophecy. Right, let's go to the book of Revelation. All right, Salakia, bear with me. All right. Chapter 13 and verse 1. And I stood, right, upon the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast rise up out of the sea. So sea represents nations. You understand when you read the scriptures. Sea represents nations. So what's this beast? Meaning literally it's this power coming up out of the rest of the different nations. But let's get that. So when you read Revelation, you don't want to read it carnally. You want to read it like it's Jumanji, or like these are physical dragons, or this is a physical beast, or this is a physical this or a physical that, right? All of this is parabolic. Let me get the book of Hosea. It's the book of Hosea, chapter 12, right? And verse number 10. And it reads, I have also spoken by the prophets, and I have multiplied visions and used similitudes by the ministry of the prophets. So the Lord, he speaks in what? Similitudes. Through the servants, the prophets, right? So these things are not literal that we're going to read in Revelation, the 13th chapter. Let me get another precept on that. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 13, verse 10. And the disciples came and said unto him, why speakest thou unto them in parables? So why is the Lord always speaking in parables? Why are things hard to understand? Why are the prophecies hard to go into? And he answered and said unto them, because it is given unto you to know the mystery of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given. So it's a blessing that you're able to understand the prophecy, go into the parables, and receive the words of life. Everybody's not able to do that. Everybody can't understand prophecy. Going back to Revelation, chapter 13 and verse 1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, right? And saw a beast rise up out of the sea. Let's get Revelation 17 and verse 15. And he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the horse sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues, right? So literally the waters, right, that this whore is sitting upon and coming out of, in Revelation, the 17th chapter, are peoples, multitudes, and nations, right? Representative of what? The nation. Let's go to the book, right, of Isaiah, chapter 59, and verse 19. The book of Isaiah, chapter 59, and verse number 19, and it reads, so shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun, when the enemy shall come in like a flood. So the enemy is known as what? A flood. The nation is known as what? As flood, as waters. The spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against them. But let's go to the book right? The Psalms, chapter 18 and verse 4. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 18 and verse 4. The sorrows of death compassed me, and the floods of ungodly men made me afraid, right? So flood always represents, you understand in its proper context, the nations, right? So going back to Revelation. Matter of fact, I'm going to get one more precept on that. Let's get the book of Psalms, chapter 144, right? And verse. I'm going to start at number 6. And it reads, cast forth lightning and scatter them. Shoot forth out of thine arrows and destroy them. Send mine hand from above. Rid me, deliver me out of great waters, from the hand of strange children. So the Lord said, look, man, through the hand of David, deliver me out of many waters. These waters are the nations. So this beast represents literally, when we read Revelation, let's go to it. 13, right? In verse number 1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, right? John is having a vision in the sea. And I saw a beast rise up out of the sea, meaning this European power is coming out of the rest of the nations, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, right? And upon his head the name of blasphemy. So those 7 heads, they represent the Greek, the British, Germany, Spanish, French, the Romans, and the Russians. And those are all Edomite empires. And they're coming literally out of the sea, meaning out of these different nations. You understand? And that's really going into what? Esau. This beast, this is Esau, man. Right? And it says what? And upon, right? And 10 horns. Those 10 horns are Belgium, Denmark, France, Italy, Luxembourg, Netherlands, Greece, Ireland, right? England, and West Germany. Those would literally be what? The 10 horns, which are the European Union, right? The common market, right? Also known as NATO, right? And now those would be the 10 horns. So you have the 7 heads, you have the 10 horns, then you will have this beast represent all of Esau and all of the power that he's coming out, right, of the sea, which are different nations into power, right? And it says, well, I'm going to get a precept on the beast, because you may not know that, right? It's a lot of people knowing this truth. It's a lot of people freshening up on prophecy. It's a lot of people going and cutting down false doctrines that have been pushed in videos, right? So we're going to go through it. Let's go to the book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 17. It's the book of Daniel, chapter 7, and verse 17. These great beasts, which are 4 kings, which shall arise out of the earth. So the beast is known as what? Kings. It's known as man, right? Could also be known as an empire, right? Let's go to the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3 and verse 18. It's the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3 and verse 18. I said in mine heart concerning the estate of the sons of men, that God might manifest them, and that they might see that they themselves are beasts. So man is known as beast also, man. Esau is the serpent. He's the adder. He's the dragon. You understand? He's a beast. Didn't Yahweh Shah call a man a fox? You're a damn fox, man. Didn't it, in Ecclesiastes? So like, let's go to Wisdom of Solomon 2, right, in verse number 15. Take us the foxes, the little foxes that spoil the vines. So the Lord's calling man beast all throughout the Bible, right? Literally, that serpent came to what? Came to Eve, which was a man, which was a nation. That's a serpent. That's a beast, man, right? Let's get another precept on that. Let's go to 2 Peter, right? It's the book of 2 Peter, chapter 2 and verse 12. But these, as natural brute beasts, made to be taken and destroyed, speak evil of things that they understand not, and shall utterly perish in their own corruption. So men are like natural brute beasts, man. They don't know what's going on, right? Let's go to the book. Right, we can go to so many precepts. I'm going to go to one more, right? Let's go to 1 Corinthians, chapter 15 and verse number 32. If after the manner of men I fought with beasts at Ephesus. So Paul is calling these men beasts, man. Yeah, I fought at beasts. I fought with these damn beasts. Meaning these different men. Their doctrines, their understanding. I was chopping them down through the spirit and power of the Lord, man. I fought with beasts. Doesn't mean Paul was getting strangled by a lion and he had to kind of grab him by his mane and flip him over. What advantage it me if the dead rise not? Let us eat and drink, for tomorrow we die. Right? So man is known as beast, you understand? And again, those 7 heads are Greeks, British, Germany, right? Spanish, French, Romans, and the Russians. And those 10 horns, right? Which are the what? The European Union, the common market, are Belgium, Denmark, France, Italy, Luxembourg, right? The Netherlands, Greece, Ireland, England, and West Germany, right? Which make up the rule and power of the Edomites. Verse 2, and the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard. Now that leopard, now all of these are attributes of animals. Leopards are fast, they kill, they're strong, right? But the leopard also represents the Greek Empire. Because when you read the book of Daniel, the 7th chapter, that's what that leopard was when you read Daniel, the 7th chapter. You understand? And his feet were as the feet of a bear, right? Represent the Persians and the Medes and also Russia. And his mouth as the mouth of a lion, right? The Babylonian Empire. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. Now the dragon is Satan, you understand? And he gave him his seat and power and great authority. Because the so-called white man, he gets his strength, his power, his dominion from the spiritual demon Satan. Even from the very beginning, when Cain made a deal with the devil, man. And he dwelt at the east of Eden near the cherubims. So from the very beginning, right, he's been dealing on the left-hand side with sorcery, witchcraft, making contracts, and bowing down to the spiritual demon Satan. Now let's go to, it says, and the beast, right, which I saw was like unto a leopard. Now let's go to it. Let's go to the book of Daniel, the 7th chapter. So these different beasts are likened to different nations. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 7, right? And verse number 6. After this I beheld, and lo, another like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl. The beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given to it. Meaning what? The Greek Empire, right? So it's taking on all of these attributes of all of these different nations, right? Just like you may have, you may know how to dance, right? You may have waves. You may be tall. You took on all the attributes of your father, right? She may know how to sing. She may know how to do X, Y, Z. She's taking on all of the attributes of her mother, right? Now, literally, the Roman Empire is taking on all of these attributes from all of the different nations before him. This first beast stemming off from Revelation, the 13th chapter, right, is going into the Roman Empire. Because John was prophesying during the Roman Empire. This is the time of Rome, you understand? In the book of Revelation, which is chiefly around 90 to 96 AD. Going back to it. And his feet, right, were as the feet of a bear. Now that bear represents the Persians and the Medo Empire, and it represents Russians. Because when you look up Russia, it's the bear. That's the emblem. Just like the Lord has literally all these attributes from these different nations, like the so-called white man, he's the eagle, right? Got Spain, got French, got Greece, got Rome, got America. All of these different attributes, they have the same what? Emblem, right? And it says, well, like a bear. Let's go back to Daniel. It says Daniel chapter 7, verse number 5. And behold, another beast, the second like to a bear, and it raised up itself on one side, and it had 3 ribs in the mouth of it, between the teeth of it, and they said thus unto it, arise and devour much flesh. You understand? So that's going into the Perso-Medo Empire. So all of these different attributes are like these different beasts and these different nations that ruled at a dispensation of time. It says what? And his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And a lion, it devours everything. It's strong. The Babylonians were known as the lions. You understand? When you read Daniel, the 7th chapter, it's the book of Daniel, chapter 7 and verse 4. And the first was like a lion and had eagle's wings, meaning a Babylonian empire. So literally all of these different attributes are stemming off from these different nations, man, making up this beast. And all of its power is taking on all of these different structures, just like America does. He takes on all of the reincarnations of all of these different nations that existed before him. The Egyptian, the Assyrian, the Persians and Mede, you understand? The Babylonian, the Greek, the Roman, right? Tyre and Zidon. All of these different nations, they're taking on the attributes and the things that these nations did before them. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. His seat meaning his throne, his structure, right? The seat. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. So what do you think the wicked is doing? They're sitting on thrones. They have seat of authority, you understand? Let's go to the book of Revelation, chapter 16, right? Now, all of this is all parabolic, like we're going into, right? Matter of fact, I can go into that too. But I don't want to get too many precepts for sake of time, right? I'm going to go to Job chapter 9, verse 24. Right? It's the book of Job chapter 9 and verse 24. And it reads, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is it? If it's not the so-called white man, who the hell is it, man? Who's doing the mass murder, the rape, the castration, the lies? Who has the authority of the earth? The so-called white man. It's the book of Revelation chapter 2 and verse number 12. And to the angel of the church of Pergamos write, these things saith he which have the sharp sword with two edges. That's Yahushua, right? This church and Pergamos is during what? The Roman Empire in Asia Minor. And it says what? I know thy works, and where thou dwellest, even where Satan's seat is. Where is Satan's seat is during this time? And what is this talking about? The Roman Empire. That's that throne. They sitting where Satan's seat is, man. They going on with all of this witchcraft and abominable things, man, at this time. Satan's seat is, and thou holdest fast my name, and hast not denied my faith, even in those days where Antipas was my faithful martyr, who was slain among you where Satan dwelleth. Antipas was a martyr during the Roman Empire. And it literally just said, plain upon tables, that he got martyred where Satan dwelleth, where Satan's seat is. Meaning his what? His throne, his power, his dominion. Going back to Revelation 13, right? And verse number 3. And it reads, and the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. That great authority, right, is being above all things but the Most High God, Yahweh Yahushua and the saints. And he literally takes everything, invades lands, gets riches, oil. He does anything he wants on the left-hand side. And he has his power and great authority via this dragon. But let's get the precept. Right? Let's get this precept. Right? Let's go to the book of Psalms. Right? Salaki. Let's go to the book of Psalms, right? Chapter 109, and let's start at verse 5. And they have rewarded me evil for good and hatred for my love. Set thou a wicked man over him, and let Satan stand at his right hand. So who's standing right on the right-hand side? What nation? So-called white man. Literally, the Most High God, he's at our right hand. He's our right hand. He's our strength. He's our protection. He's going to guide us and protect us. That's who we next to. But who's next to Satan, the so-called white man? It says, set thou a wicked man over him, and let Satan stand at his right hand. So Satan's standing at the right hand, right, of who? Of Esau, man. That's how he has this authority, this power, and he's able to do these things in this world. Verse 3, And I saw one of his heads, right? One of his heads is out of that beast, those 7 heads. The Greeks, the British, Germany, Spanish, French, Romans, and Russia. And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death. And his deadly wound was healed. That's the Roman Empire. And all the world wondered after the beast. So everybody in the world, they wondering after the beast. Oh, look how strong it is. The strength, the power, the dominion, how they have everything, the rulership, the power. They wondering after this beast. And they worship the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. So they worship the spiritual demon Satan that's giving power unto this beast. Now, this beast didn't just work out and do some pull-ups, right? They didn't damn just cast a lot and a lot fell upon them. They literally worship the soul, right? The devil that the Bible speaks of, man. Right? Let's get that in the book of Genesis from the very beginning. Because Cain, right, is the so-called white man. You understand? And he came back as Esau. But from the very beginning, he literally made an allegiance with the spiritual demon Satan to serve him and build up and get his knowledge, right, and his blessing on the left-hand side. This is the book of Genesis, right? Chapter 4. I'm gonna get straight to the point because this is kind of an in-depth breakdown. It's deep. I'm gonna start at 14. Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from thy face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid. Talking about Cain. Hid from the glory, honor, commandments, and life and saving from the Lord. And I should be a fugitive, because that's what he is, because he hasn't been caught yet for the murder that he did upon Abel. And a vagabond, meaning he doesn't have a dwelling place. His strength, or where he would lie, would be where? It would be in the caves. He has no homeland. He's to the clefts of the Georgia mountain, Georgia, Russia, man. Right in the Mount Seir. Vagabond in the earth, it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me. And the Lord said unto him, therefore, whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold, because it wasn't time to kill him at that very moment. He had to be preserved until the day of wrath for us to kill him, because we are the avengers of blood. And the Lord set a mark upon Cain, which was leprosy, lest anyone finding him should kill him. And Cain went out from the presence of the Lord. So he left the presence of the Lord and dwelt in the land of Nod on the east of Eden. So after the Lord not dealing with him no more, what does Cain do? The so-called white man. He goes dwell at the east of Eden. What's at the east of Eden? The spiritual demon Satan. How do we know that? This is Genesis 3:23. Therefore the Lord God sent him from the garden of Eden, right, talking about Adam, to till the ground from whence he was taken. So he drove out the man, and he placed at the east of the garden of Eden cherubims and a flaming sword which turned every way to keep the way of the tree of life. So why would you want to go dwell somewhere or go somewhere where it's literally a cherubim, which is an angel, keeping men from the tree of life? That's exactly where he went. And when he went that way, this is what he received as you keep reading. Genesis chapter 4, right? And verse number 17. And Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bare Enoch, and he builded a city. So after he went to the east, you understand, of Eden, to see the spiritual demon Satan, he received knowledge, right? He received all of these carnal things, throne and dominion of this world, which is literally his blessing, which is the sword, right? Genesis chapter 27, verse 40, to build the whole damn city. Who builds cities now? Who dwells in the uttermost parts? Who's always in high rises? Who has damn nukes, drones, planes, buildings and hospitals and damn hotels? Who has achieved things and knows how to build up the city? The so-called white man. And called the name of his city after the name of Enoch. So who conquers things and names is after themselves? The so-called white man. So literally from the very beginning, he made a deal with the devil, man, which was that dragon known as, you understand? Let's get Genesis 27 and verse number 40. And it reads, and by the sword shalt thou live, and thou shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, right, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break the yoke from off thy neck. So by the sword thou shalt live. Meaning he has everything of this world. He has the throne because the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Going back to Revelations 13:3, and I saw one of his heads as it were wounded, right? The Roman Empire to death, and his deadly wound was healed. And all the world wondered after the beast, and they worshiped the dragon, meaning the what? The spiritual demon Satan, which gave power unto the beast and is given power unto the Roman Empire, saying, who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? Because during the Roman Empire, wasn't nothing going down. The Romans were strong. They had might. You read about that in First Maccabees, the 8th chapter, about the Romans. Let's get that real fast. It's First Maccabees, chapter 8. They were the most fiercest nation, right, with war at that time. This is the book, First Maccabees, chapter 8 and verse 1. Now Judas had heard of the fame of the Romans, that they were mighty and valiant men, and such as would lovingly accept all that joined themselves unto them, and make a league of enmity with all that came unto them. So he heard of all of the might and the power that these Edomites were coming in the Roman Empire. You understand? And that's all the way during the time of the Greek Empire. Let's go to the book of Daniel, right? The 2nd chapter. It's the book of Daniel, right? Chapter 2, right? In verse number 41. 2 and 41. And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, right? The feet, you will literally have what? The gold, the silver, the bronze, and the iron, which represent what? The Babylonian Empire, right? The Perso-Medo, the Greek, and the Roman Empire. And at the very last would be the what? The Roman Empire. It's the same thing as Daniel, the 7th chapter. And it says what? Feet and toes. And the feet represent what? The Roman Empire. The toes would be the European Union, which are 10 of them. You understand? And the part of the potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it of the strength of the iron. The iron is the Roman Empire. Talking about the strength in it. For as much as thou sawest the iron mixed, right, with miry clay. Let's get the book of Daniel, chapter 7, and verse number 7. And it reads, after this I saw in night vision, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible. This is talking about the Roman Empire. And strong exceedingly. And it had, and it had great iron teeth, and it devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it, right? Meaning it conquered everything. It was beating down everybody else, all these different nations. And it was diverse from all the beasts, right, that were before it, and it had 10 horns. And what is those 10 horns? We just went over it earlier. The European Union, you understand? So the Roman Empire was strong. That's why they saying who can be able to make war with it? Who can stand up against the Roman Empire? Who can take it down, right? Let's go back to it. In verse 4, Revelations 13 and 4. And they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. And they worshiped the beast, saying, who is like, right, unto the beast, who is able to make war with him? And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things, which were blasphemy, lies, wickedness, right, adultery, cesspool, sorceries. All of these things they're pushing, right, on a mass fold to the saints and to the world. And blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months. 42 months. Right, let me get the calculator. Break it down. Right? So 42 months, right? That'd be 42 times 30. Because it's 30 days in a month, according to the Bible. Not according to the so-called white man, not according to the leap year, not according to February, but according to the Lord. And that gets you 1,260, right? So 42 months, right? 40 and 2 months, time, and dividing of times is the same thing. because time is 360, right? Then you have times 720, and dividing the times would be 180. How do we know that? Because when you look up, literally, in the Bible, the word time, in, right, the blue letter, it means year. So you have 1 year, right? Years, which are times 2, and dividing of a year, which would be 180, which will give you 1,260 days. And power was given unto him to continue 42 months, right? Let's get a precept on that, though. It's the book of Revelation, chapter 12, and verse number 14. And it reads, I'm gonna start at 13, just to show you, right? And when the dragon saw that he was cast into the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child, right? And that dragon is the Roman Empire. It was cast down to the earth, right? And that's literally what I was going into, right? In 12 on down. But when you jump to 7 on down, that's the downfall of the so-called white man, modern day Babylon, which is the so-called white man being that dragon. Now, he's known as a dragon all throughout the scriptures, but in its proper context, you got to keep it in there. And I'm going to read 12 and 2 real fast. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his head. That's the same thing, right, that's going into Revelations chapter 13 and verse 1 on down. Now that dragon, right, is the so-called white man. But jump into Revelation 12 and 14. And the woman were given 2 wings. That woman is us, Israel. Of a great eagle, that she may fly into the wilderness, and to her place where she is nourished. Now that wilderness isn't the second wilderness. That wilderness is talking about America. This is the dry place that the Bible speaks of, without no water, without knowledge. And the wilderness is dark once the sun sets. And the sun is the knowledge, right? The light. Once it sets, right? There's no light in this place, and it's cold. It's dark, has no water, right? That's the book of Proverbs, chapter 63 and verse 1, right? It says, where she is nourished for a time and times and a half a time from the face of the serpent. You understand? And that's plain. That equals 1,260 days. Just to give a precept. You can also get another precept in Revelations 11. You understand? In verse number 2 and verse 3. Going back to Revelations 13 and verse 5. And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy. Now, who does the most blasphemy of the world, man? Who is this talking about? The so-called white man. Who opens his mouth in blasphemy? Let's get the book of Daniel. Right, chapter 8. The book of Daniel, chapter 8 and verse 25. And through his policy, also he shall cause craft to prosper. So the so-called white man, he's causing craft to prosper. All his witchcraft, his media. He's sneaky, man. He's causing craftiness to prosper, man. It says what? In his hand, because he has the world right on the left-hand side, in the power of his hand. And he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. This is by peace. Many coming up with a knife behind his back and telling you everything is all right. You know? Next thing you know, he thrusts you through, man. He kills you and murders you. By peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand. And that's plain, man. Right? So that's literally him opening his mouth with blasphemy, lies, craftiness, and is prospering right through all of the stuff that he pushes in his world. Reading on. Open his mouth and blaspheme against God and blaspheme his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven. Now the Lord's tabernacle, that's twofold, right? He literally have a tabernacle of witness in the third heaven, which would be a foreshadow of things upon earth that the priests, the Levites, they buried, which was the tent, the tabernacle of witness. So the Lord's throne and where he sits and where he dwells is also called the tabernacle of testimony, right? Like you read about in Revelations 15 and 5. And he blasphemed the Lord, saying that he's the Lord, he's God, he's Yahweh Shai, he's the angels. When did the Lord say they were little white babies with damn diapers on shooting people, man, in the ass, man? And those were the angels of the Lord. When did the Lord say that Yahweh Shai, right, look like the so-called white man? It ain't in there, man. That's the blaspheme and the lies that he pushes. On top of throwing up curses and wanting to fight against the Lord, man. And his saints, his chosen people. So these are all of the things that he pushes, man. We got to understand he's the devil, man. Right? And it says what? And it was given unto him to make war with the saints. War with the saints. Who's going to make war with us in the last days? Didn't it say the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed which kept the commandments? Right? In the book of Revelations 12 and 17. Let's get it. It's the book of Revelation, chapter 12 and verse 17. And the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Yahweh. So they're going to make war with us, man. Don't think you're going down, walk down the street every day and your local police officer, neighborhood white man is going to wave to you as you get in your car and then throw up curses of demonic thoughts in the back of his head as you drive to work, then follow you, pull you over, right? Beat you down, right? Don't think it's going to go like that forever. There's going to come a time where guns going to be drawn, bombs going to be dropped, prisons are going to be open, shackles and chains and tortures. All of these things are coming to pass. Read Wisdom of Solomon, the 2nd chapter, right? The third abomination of desolation is going into the destruction of the nation via the so-called white man. His military, his lies, right, and everything he's going to do to cast down the saints in the latter days on the earth, man. Going back to Revelation chapter 13, right, in verse number 7. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints, to overcome them. Didn't we get overcome, right? Let me get the book of Daniel chapter 7, verse 25. It's the book of Daniel chapter 7, verse 25, and it reads, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High. We tired of working, or we tired of paying taxes. We tired of getting down, discriminated against. We tired of getting killed. We tired of getting unjustly treated. We tired, man. We worn out like an old ass pair of shoes, man. The damn thing all open. We worn out, man. So wear out the saints of the Most High and think to change times. So why is it an eastern coast, a western coast, a central, right? You understand? Got leap years, got February. It's changing all of these different times. Making it damn hot forward, making it hot back. And laws and decrees like he does, like you read about in the book of Isaiah 10 and 1. And they shall be given into his hand until time and times and dividing of times. The same as 1,260 days. So these prophecies and these prophets, they speak about the same things all throughout the scriptures. Going back to Revelation, right? Chapter 13 and verse number 8. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him. So everybody worships Rome, the Roman Empire. Everybody worshiped Rome. Everybody got down with his decrees. Everybody bowed down. Even had the damn Israelites. We have no king but Caesar. Why in the hell were they saying that? Because they was drunk. They was worshiping him. Everybody got down with this beast, right? Everybody got down with everything he was pushing. Right? Let me get a precept. It's the book of John, chapter 19 and verse 15. And they cried out, away with him, away with him, crucify him. Now these are our people, talking about our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shai, you understand? And they said, away with him, away with him, away with him. We have no king. It says Pilate said unto them, shall I crucify your king? The chief priest answered, we have no king but Caesar. Meaning everybody wanted to get down with the Roman Empire. Everybody wanted to get down with Tiberius, Claudius, Caesar, right? Nimrod, all of these different emperors. Everybody wanted to bow down into what they had going on, and everybody worshiped them. Let's get the book of John, Luke, chapter 3 and verse 1. Now in the 15th year, reign of Tiberius Claudius, right? Caesar, Pontius Pilate being governor of Judea, and Herod being tetrarch of Galilee, and his brother Philip the tetrarch, Artria, right, of the region of Tetrius, and Lystrinia, the tetrarch of Albania, right? So Tiberius Caesar. So everybody was getting down, right? He was ruling during the time of Yahweh Shah. So everybody was getting down with the Roman Empire. Let me get another precept on that. So everybody worshiped the beast, man. Just like now, the modern day beast is what? America. Everybody worshiping. Got people they want to vote. Right? Vote or die. Right? 2004, they had the damn vote or die, man. Well, I'm going to get put to death because I ain't voting, man. We not voting. They tell you not to do that in Hosea the 8th chapter. We have set up kings, but not by thee. 8 and 1 on down, man. Right? The Lord said, and I knew it not. You set up kings, governors, and princes, and I knew them not. It tell you in the law not to do that. In Deuteronomy, the 17th chapter. So we can't trust in vanity, oppression. We can't trust in the ways of this world. We can't trust in the government setup. We can't trust in the military, their might. We can't trust in who's ruling. We don't give a damn about this place, man. Go to the book of Matthew, chapter 22, and verse, right? I'm going to start at 20. And he said unto them, who is this image of superstition? They said unto him, Caesar's. Then saith he unto them, render unto Salaki, therefore unto Caesar, the things which are Caesar, and unto Yahweh the things that are Yahweh. So you got people, you go render to Caesar the things, you know, you want Caesar? What you think about Caesar? Everybody was on the Roman Empire, right? You had literally my foremother and forefather giving, right? Paying taxes. In Luke chapter 2 and verse 1. So everybody worshiped this beast. Going to Revelation chapter 13, right? And verse number 8. And all that dwelled upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life. So everybody's going to worship this system and getting down with everything if your name not written in the book of life. So if you rebelling, you don't care, you're not serving, you're not voting, you're not giving your strength, your power, your spirit unto this land, these decrees and these laws, and all of these damn false ideologies and doctrines and systematic oppression, then your name might be in the book of life if you endure to the end, man. Of the lamb slain from the foundation of the world, man. Right? If any man have an ear, let him hear. And we all have ears, right, to hear. And on a spiritual level, if you could get down with what the Lord put down, if you could receive prophecy and understanding. He that leadeth into captivity. Who led us into captivity? Everybody on the earth, right? They led us into captivity. Silk Road slave trade, Sub-Saharan, right? The Egyptian, all of the minor ones, you understand? In the time of Judges, right? You got the Midians, right? All hell was Mesopotamians, right? The Canaanites, right? The damn Moabites, right? In the 3rd chapter, right? The 2nd chapter. You got all of these different, the 4th chapter, the Canaanites. When you read Judges 10 and 10, it'll show you a list of different captivities we went in, man. We went into all of these various captivities. Even the Japhats, man. The Pacific Islanders. They put us down. All of these different nations, they put us in a captivity and slavery. And the Lord said, plain upon tables, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. Now the Roman Empire, they led us into captivity. They took us down and conquered us, right? And they burned down everything of Judea, and we fled into the west part of Africa in 70 AD, fleeing from Roman persecution, right? Everything was going down, and what happened? We had to get up out of there. We were being crucified, beat down, right? Paying taxes, unjustly treated. In this context, right? But on a deeper fold, all of these different nations had us in captivity. They had us in slavery and bondage, right? He that killeth with the sword, now who was given a sword? Esau, right? Must be killed with the sword, meaning whatever he put forth, he has to get it right back, man. If you push forth murder, theftery, and lies, you're going to get that back, man. We're going to rob you. We're going to lie to you now, right? We're going to get you together. The Lord said in the book of Ezekiel, the 39th chapter, 39 and 9 and 10 on down, that we was going to rob the so-called white man. Well, let me get that, man. So whatever you get, whatever you did, you got to get it right back to you, man. He robbing us blind, man. Taking everything from us. Our natural resources, our gold, our vessels, our chief things, right? Read the book, right? The first Ezra chapter, what is that, 2 and 15, right? First Ezra 1 and 55. First Ezra 1 and 20. Salakia 1 and 40, right? All of these different things, right? First Maccabees 1 and 20. They robbed us blind, man. Took everything from us, right? Read 2 Kings 24 and verse 15, 17 on down. They took everything from us. All of these different nations, they did nothing but rob us, beat us down, and steal from us. What I said I was going to call? Salaki, bear with me. Okay, calm. We're gonna keep going then. Yeah, we're gonna rob them. That's the spirit. We're gonna go back to Ezekiel 39. It's the book of Ezekiel, chapter 39 and 9. And they shall dwell in the cities of Israel, shall go forth, and shall set on fire and burn weapons, both the shields and bucklers, of bows and of arrows, and of handstays, and the spears, and they shall burn them with fire 7 years, going to destruction in a battle with Gog and Magog, so that they shall take no wood out of the field, neither cut down anything out of the forest, for they shall burn their weapons with fire, and they shall spoil those that spoil them, and rob those that rob them, saith the Lord God, man. So the Lord is with that, man. The Lord with robbing your enemy, beating them down, and giving them the sword right back, man. Did not the Lord say an eye for an eye, man? The Lord didn't change. Stop acting like the Lord is sitting up there all day just having fun, just blessing everybody, man. The Lord is a man of war. Right? Salaki, bear with me. Right? The Lord is a man of war, man. This is the book of Revelations 13 and 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. Because it's going to take a lot of patience to endure to get to the point where you damn tackling people into slavery, man. Beating them down and thrusting them through. You have to first endure the trials and tribulations set before you. Verse 11. And I beheld another beast. This other beast is talking about America. The first beast is talking about the Roman Empire. The second beast is talking about America. Coming out of the earth, meaning it's a power. And he had two horns like a lamb and spake as a dragon, right? So meaning what? He had two horns like a lamb, meaning he was all docile, right? Everything's okay. I don't want no problems. But he spake as a dragon, meaning he's really a liar. He's telling you peace. He's telling you love. He's showing you TV, music. He's showing you life, how it could be in America, the bright lights. He's speaking as a lamb like everyone wants to come to America and love America and get down. But he's really a dragon. There's really nothing but homosexuality here, right? Homosexuality here, man. Death, violence, lies, pedophilia, murder. All of these things are pushed in this world. Goddamn ass shaking, rap music, damn thought music, damn gangster music. What is it? Damn, all these movies pushing imagery. Right? All of these things is what he's pushing. He's coming like a lamb. Bright lights in Hollywood and damn actors and the singers and the dancing and damn parades. in a Theobask. Sounds fun, but he really coming in like dragon, man. Coming to devour you, take your soul, sift you out. Be that woman that's a whore, right? Which is what? The daughter of Babylon, America, you understand? Coming with the long hair, the pearls, the costly array, the purple, the high heels. But she's really come so she can make what? Spiritual fornication upon you. Right? And you got to understand that, man. And don't be deceived. Let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 55 and 20. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 55 and verse 20. He hath put forth his hand against such as be at peace with him. He have broken his covenant. What did he do to the so-called Native American Indians? He befriended them. He said, you know what? You show me how you survive the harsh winters, right? How you build things, how you make weaponry, how you do certain things. And we show me the trails and the different places of where you're from. And we're going to give you armory. We're going to give you wine. We're going to give you what you need. You understand? Shelter, clothing. They made a covenant, and what happened, man? The so-called white man, he broke it. Because he came as a what? As a lamb, but he really was a dragon. He had put forth his hand against such as be at peace with him. He had broken his covenant. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter. I mean, he's smooth what he said. He coming real subtle. But war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. Right? It's the book of 1 Maccabees 7 and verse number 26. 1 Maccabees 7 and 26. Then the king sent Nicanor, one of his honorable princes, a man that bare deadly hate unto Israel, without commandment to destroy the people. So this white man, he hated us, man. And it said he bare deadly hate to the children of Israel. So Nicanor came to Jerusalem with great force and sent unto Judas his brethren deceitfully with friendly words. So he coming with friendly words, shaking your hand. How you doing? Everything okay? How's your family? Right? Yeah, come in the back. Come talk to me. He really hates your guts. He wants you to die. And that's literally how he's coming, man. As a lamb, but he's speaking as a dragon. Right? Verse 12. And he exercised all the power of the first beast. Meaning he came in everything that the Roman Empire came in. Even in the book of 1 Maccabees, the 8th chapter, 15 on down, the Roman Empire, they had a Senate house. So who has a Senate house now? Who sits down and they consult with the people? They have a legislative branch, a judicial branch, right? They have the Democrats and the Republicans. They have all of these things, and they sit down with counsel with men, right, at these UN meetings, and they sit down to discuss what you think is laws, but it's really how to further oppress and keep the children of Israel in captivity and slavery mentally and physically so they continue to reign. You understand? As ruling powers and governments on this earth. We're not stupid. We're not ignorant to Satan's devices. Yeah, Joe Blow and Ray Ray smoking crack and drinking 40s might be, but the men of the Lord, that we know you, man. We understand who you are. We know you watching this right now. You understand? And we don't give a damn. Right? It say what? 1 Maccabees 8 and 15. Moreover, how they had made for themselves a Senate house. Who made for themselves a Senate house? The Roman Empire. And this is Rome all over again. Even the ancient temples and pillars that you see during the Roman Empire. Let me pull that up. Let me pull that up real fast for edification's sake. Right? Just to show you. Now check this out. It's the Roman Empire. These were their pillars during the Roman Empire. It looks a lot like America. Now, don't you think we're paying so-called tax money, building up whatever it is the so-called white man uses the tax money for to build up? And you telling me with all of this tax money, he prints money, he could do all of this, anything he wants that the Lord allows. You telling me he wants to make in the cities of DC around the national capital old ass pillars when they're modern, what do they call it? Architectural work, things and slanted and coming with different metals that could be made and all different brass and different angles. You telling me, right, that this is what the nation capital looks like? Because it's Rome all over again, man. Now check this out. So like it, bear with me. Now check this out. Now this is America. That same exact thing. Coming in the same spirit. Because it's Rome all over again. This is the book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 8 and verse 15. Moreover, how they made for themselves a senate house, just like America has, wherein 320 men sat in council daily, consulting always for the people, to the end that they might be well ordered. But that was a lie, because they didn't want it to be well ordered. They wanted to make up false and grievous decrees to push on the people, man. Right? Going back to Revelation chapter 13 and verse number 12. And he exercised, right, meaning this beast, which is America, all the power of the first beast, which is the Roman Empire, before him, and caused the earth and them that dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. Why is it saying we're worshiping the first beast, right, as America? Why? Because literally America is Rome all over again. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 17 and verse number 8. The beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit, and shall go into perdition. So it said the beast that thou sawest was. Now this is John. He's during the time of the what? The Roman Empire. The beast, meaning the Roman Empire, that thou sawest was. Meaning John saw this beast and it was during the time of John. And it's not, because it came out of power, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit, which is Europe. That landmass, a pit in the scriptures means a landmass, right? Revelations 9 and 1 on down. And go into perdition. Perdition means destruction. And they shall dwell, and they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names are not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was, the Roman Empire, and is not, because it came out of power and yet is. So how is this beast yet is, but it's out of power, but it yet is? Because it's literally America. Rome is America, man. Right? Going back to Revelations 13 in verse number 13. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven. How is a so-called white man making fire come down from heaven? By his bombs, his nukes. You understand? Let's go to it. Let's go to it. Bear with me. Now this is how he makes fire come down from heaven. By his warfare. Literally. This is how he's making fire come down from heaven. Through what? Through the tanks, right? The shooting, the missiles, the nukes, right? All of these things are making fire come down from heaven. That's not talking about it's this beast. He's 19 feet tall, right? And he's doing these miracles in the sight of men in the last days, man. This is not Christianity. This is the truth in these last days. The Lord said many shall run to and fro and knowledge shall be increased in the last days, man. right? Daniel chapter 12 and verse 4. So the men of the Lord, they waking up, right? The women of the Lord, they waking up, right? The children of the Lord, they waking up. The prophecies are being revealed in these last days, and the mask is being ripped off the so-called white man. And we're seeing him as a thief, a murderer, a liar, an adulterer, a snake, a viper, a thief, a damn railer, a drunkard, right? We're seeing all of his stuff is being revealed. Not because, right, we kind of damn guessed it and cast it a lot, because of the words of life are supping, right? And we're linking it up through world events. We're linking it up through history. We're linking it up through precepts. And we're getting to understand it. And it says what? And he doeth great wonders. Because that's a wonder. How in the hell do you make a bomb? Please tell me. I don't know how you do this. I don't know if you get this chemical, you kind of drop it on that chemical. I don't even know what's inside that thing. That's a great wonder. How we can make something travel over states to hit something else and destroy something, the landmass of Texas times 7. That's a great wonder, man. So that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. Men and men see these things, right? Right? Reading on. And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by means of those miracles. Meaning they think they're powerful. They think they're mighty. They think they can trust in the system. They think they can trust in their military might. You got a lot of nations that say we got a mother of all bombs. You got proud ass white men in the damn country somewhere saying all hell America, waving a flag, right? They're strongly delusional, thinking that this system is going to continue to stand. And it's coming down from the sight of men, right? It says what? And he doeth great wonders so that he make a fire come down from heaven. And heaven just is a higher state. You have the third heaven where the Most High dwells, right? The second heaven, which are the waters, the firmament. And then you have this rulership, which would be known as a heaven. On the earth in the sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by means of those miracles, which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by the sword and did live, right? And that image is not a physical image. That's not physically an image that's coming in the image in the name of something, right? Now, if somebody's beating on, right, for a woman, for example, she could be dressed like a harlot. She's coming in the image of a harlot. Somebody could be dressed demonic. They're coming in the spirit in the image of Satan. You know, we have our fringes, our Bible, our beards, right? We have our menorahs, right? We have our garments. We're coming in the image of the Lord, man. When the Lord walked the earth, he had a beard. He wore fringes, right? He was on fire. So we got to come in the image of, right? So it says what? To deceive them that dwelt on the earth by means of those miracles, which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, meaning come in everything he came out of and everything he's coming in, to the beast, which had a wound by the sword and did live. And that's talking about the Roman Empire. So America makes images all throughout its cities, its pillars, right? DC, Maryland, their Senate House. These are the images that they're coming in because they're coming in the same image. Let me get a precept. Let's go to the book of Colossians, chapter 3 and verse 10. Right? It's the book of Colossians, chapter 3 and verse number 10. Right? And it reads, and have put on the new man, which is renewed in knowledge after the image of him that created him. So we're coming in the image of the Lord. Why? Because we're keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. We're doing the same things that the Lord did, man. Right? As much as we can. We're coming in his image. Let's go to the book of Genesis 9 and 6. The book of Genesis, chapter 9 and verse 6. Who shed of blood by man shall his blood be shed. For in the image of God made he man. That's twofold. Meaning the Lord physically has shoulders, a neck, you understand, a stomach, legs and feet, and the image of the Lord is everything he stood for, everything he's in. Fire on fire, he's reading. The Lord was reading the damn Isaiah, man, right? So all hell was breaking loose, man. He read the prophet Isaiah, prophesying about himself. So the Lord did everything, you understand? And we come in the image of the Lord. So just like your son, right? Your son, right? You may see your son, he kind of throwing the football. He kind of real fast. You kind of looking at him like, damn, that look like me. That's me right there. I used to do the same. He's coming in your image, man. Right? So America comes in the same image as the Roman Empire. Verse 15. And it reads, and he had power to give life, right, unto the image. So this beast America has power to do whatever the hell it wants, right? To fulfill its wickedness to the highest degree. He has power to make laws, to make imagery, Caesar Borgia, paintings, false ideologies, lies. It's like the Lord said, you know what? You have a little time, right, which he did say, Revelation 12 and 12, right, to do everything in wickedness that I will allow you to do, and they're doing everything they can. So he has power to give life to this image, meaning bring it to life through everything that we see and behold in his land. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed, man. So you know that's not a physical image. So if you're not getting down with this system, right, and everything they're pushing, right, you will be killed, man, right? And literally the saints, they not getting down with that. We not getting down with dressing and Christmas. We not getting down with Christianity, with Roman Catholicism. We not getting down with all of the imagery, the lies and everything they pushing. Stop speaking the truth, banning the Bibles, famine of the word, put it down. This is what we're going to do. We're not getting down with none of that. So in the latter days, we're going to have to die persecutions because we're going to be enemies of the state. They're going to look at us like terrorists. They're going to look at us like what they know us to be, enemies, man. So we have to understand these things. And he had power, which the so-called white man does, right, to give power unto the life, unto the image of the beast. And the image of the beast should both speak and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he caused all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark, right? Now, this isn't a physical mark. A lot of people say this is a physical mark. Well, the Lord said precept upon precept. Everything, right, that we can go to in Revelations, the 13th chapter, we can pull a precept for, man. We can go into history to validate what it is we're saying. That links up hand in hand. Now, the Lord said, plain upon tables, that he cause of all. So the so-called white man, America, he's going to cause everybody to receive a mark. So if this is physical, I need somebody to break this down for me. Let's go to Hosea, chapter 1 and verse 10. Because the Lord said that you can't number the children of Israel. So how is somebody going to physically give somebody a physical mark on their hand if you cannot search out or find all of the Israelites? It would either be a hole in the Bible or a hole in your doctrine. And we know these words to be true. Tried 7 times in the furnace, like the scriptures say, in the book of Psalms, the 12th chapter. So it's a lot of holes in these doctrines. The Lord said, cause of all. Everybody on this earth is going to either take the mark or not. So you telling me the so-called white man in the last days, he going to be looking for the poor. He going to be all in the damn trap houses and abandoned buildings where crackhead Israelites are, right? That don't have $3 to their name, grabbing them up, taking them to places and putting damn marks in them, chips in them. You be carnal as hell to think that. That doesn't make any sense. We're under bridges. We're in the ghettos. We're in the slums. You've got Israelites that look like other nations. May look like a so-called white man, like Blake Griffin's children, Tiger Woods' children. May look like a Moabite, like Janelle Aiko, right? May look like these different nations, right? Like Isaiah 11 and 11. So how would you be able to literally grab up all the Israelites if they can't be numbered and don't nobody know where we all are and mark all of them? That doesn't make any sense. It's the book of Hosea chapter 1 and verse 10. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. So if you can't number all of the Israelites or measure them, how you going to know who's an Israelite, who's not, and force this physical mark upon all of them? So the so-called white man is going to make an infinite amount of chips to mark all of us, except for the elect. That doesn't make any sense. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living God. Let's go to the book of Genesis, right? 15 and verse number 5. And he brought him forth abroad and said, look now toward the heaven, and tell the stars, if thou be able to number them. And he said unto him, so shall thy seed be. Can anybody measure all the stars when you look up? The chief places of the earth. Because there's more stars in various places. You understand? Because you go to different terrain. You look up. Can you measure all of those stars? You can't measure the Israelites then. We in Africa, England, New York City, Arkansas, Alabama. We in damn Canada. We in Europe, right? We in damn Australia, right? We the uttermost. We in Antarctica, man. We everywhere driven through captivity and slavery. We in the Bahamas. We in Jamaica. We in the Islands. But yet the so-called white man is going to chip everybody with a physical mark. And everybody is not going to buy or sell. Because the whole point of the mark in a lot of people's doctrines and understanding is that you're not going to be able to move around in the society, and you're not going to be able to buy and sell. So what does the so-called white man look like jumping off of his weak throne, coming down, grabbing up an Israelite that doesn't have but 4 teeth, can't buy or sell, and force them doing a mark when the whole mark is to buy and sell with? That doesn't make any sense. Right, let's go to another precept. It's the book of Genesis 13 and verse number 16. And I will make thy seed as the dust of the earth. If you blow some dust, it's everywhere. You can't go like that in the air. We everywhere. So that if a man can number the dust of the earth, then shall thy seed also be numbered. But yet in prophecy, Revelations 13 and 16, it says he calls of all. All means everybody. No matter what's going on, small or great. Meaning to your Michael Jordans, to your janitors. Rich or poor. Free or bond. You could be locked up in a prison. He's going to come and get you out of it. Right? Or you free. Receive a mark in the right hand or in the forehead. So what if it's in your left hand? Then what? Did you kind of damn get away with it? Is the chip not going to work? Damn, I got it in the wrong hand. Is the chip not going to work at that point? Is that, did you fool the Lord? The Lord said the right hand. What if you get it in the left hand? Now, a chip should be able to work no matter where it's at in the flesh. If it's made and radiologically made to pierce through the skin, right? You should be able to do it with the left hand. Does that mean you fooled the Lord? You buy and sell? You escaped prophecy? No, you just don't understand the scriptures. It says what? Receive a mark. Now that mark is spiritual. It's not physical. Let's go to the precepts. Go to the book of Ezekiel. Right? Chapter 9. It's the book of Ezekiel, chapter 9. in verse, right, number 4. And it reads, and the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and cry, right, for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. So set a mark. Does that angel have a physical mark? He's sitting up there, he marking everybody, here's your mark. He putting a damn piece of paper on him. No, that's a spiritual mark. A lot of men right now, they have a mark on them on the right-hand side. The Lord said, bind up the testimony, seal the law among my disciples. When you're sealed, you have that mark. You have that variation. It says what? Set a mark upon the foreheads. Why is it the forehead? That's spiritual. That's your mind. That's your mind. Now this mark that the angels are going to give, and nobody saw these, the angels ain't come down, 100,000 angels, then they damn giving out marks and everybody don't know what's going on. This is all spiritual, man. And it's on your forehead for a reason. Right? Let's go to another precept. And your right hand means your strength, and your forehead means your mind. So you would have to take this mark with all your mind and your understanding and with all your strength, meaning power to do. The same way, on the right-hand side, you could be marked on your right hand and in your forehead. How do we know that? Let's go to the precept. This is Deuteronomy 6 and 6. Right? And all these words, what is the context? The words. And all these words which I command thee this day shall be in thine heart. Right? Now, does that literally mean that the words of the Lord, they're in your heart? And you go like this, you could pull out the book of Isaiah. That's not physical. And thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children. And thou shalt talk to them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up. Meaning the words of the Lord. And thou shalt bind them for a sign upon thy hand, and they shall be as frontlets between thine eyes. The same place the Lord is saying, prophesied it, that a lot of men are going to take the mark on the left-hand side. It's going to be men having the commandments in their hand and on their foreheads. Does that mean we physically going to have the commandments in our head? We get it tattooed right here. Get it tattooed on our... That's not what that's talking about, man. Meaning we know the words of the Lord in our mind, and we're going to perform them with our hand. Does not the Lord say all throughout the scriptures, he will save thee with his right hand? Does that mean the Lord has one arm and he's only saved? He can only do so much. He has one arm. No, the right hand represents what? Righteousness. It represents your strength that you're going to do with all your heart, man. Like it says in Ecclesiastes 10 and 1, a wise man's heart is at his right, but a fool's heart is at his left. So the right hand side and your arm is your strength. Like Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 5, let's get it. Said, curseth he that trusteth in men and maketh flesh his arm. What does it mean, make flesh his arm? Meaning make flesh his strength, because your arm and your hand represent strength. This is Jeremiah 17 and 5. Thus saith the Lord, cursed be the man that trusteth in man, and maketh flesh his arm, meaning his strength, whose heart is departed from the Lord. So if I have the commandments in my arm, I'm having it in my strength. If I have it in my mind, right? You got to link this up through the spirit, man. You ain't going to be damn at the cash register, the beep. Damn, kind of damn, all right, your total is $345. Beep. That's not what that's talking about, man. Kind of come close, right? Then the man kind of hold still, beep. That's not what that's talking about, man. Right? Then somebody else say, you know what, I'll pay for it in the back. You don't have enough money. Then he kind of stick his head. Then he kind of dap the man up. It's not what that's talking about, man. It's the book of Deuteronomy, right? Chapter 11 and verse number 18. Therefore shall ye lay up these my words in your heart and in your soul, and bind them for a sign on your hand, and that they may be as frontlets between your eyes. So the commandments are going to be where? between your eyes. You understand? That's what that's going into. Let's go back to it. This is Revelation chapter 13 and verse number 16. And he shall cause all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. Let's get another precept on the mark. Right? Let's get another precept on it. Because through thy precepts, we get to understand. Therefore, I hate every false way. This is 1 Timothy 4:1. Now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils. So it's going to be a lot of men in the last days. They're going to give heed to a lot of seducing spirits, man. Brothers not going to have no damn precepts, but they're going to somehow persuade you that this means this and this. You know what? I agree. Now you got that bobblehead dog spirit. You bobblehead into everything, man. The Lord said, through thy precepts I can understand it. Therefore I hate every false way. So if you can't come out of the scriptures, whatever you're trying to justify, right? And the scriptures, they speak along with history. So if you can't bring up accounts that have already passed, right? Which you can link up through prophecies that have already passed, right? And link it up hand in hand, we don't believe you, man. Speaking lies and hypocrisy, having their conscience seared with a hot iron. Now, does that physically mean you got your conscience seared with a hot iron and your mind is bleeding and combusting now? That's not what that's going into. That's not a physical sear. It's not a physical mark. That's that's all parabolic. Let's go to the book of Isaiah chapter 8 and verse 16. Book of Isaiah chapter 8 and verse 16. Bind up the testimony, seal the law among my disciples. What does it mean when you seal something? You seal it closed. It's sealed. It's something on it, keeping it. Bind up this testimony and seal the law. So you have to have the law sealed upon you, man. And where's the law going to be sealed? In your mind. It's going to be sealed in your head because you know the Lord. Right? Now, how are you able to understand the scriptures? We know Yahweh Shai, and the grace and mercy. But through what? Our mind. Reading it. Understanding it. How are we able to call precepts? Because we remember it. How do we know the Lord's name? It's in our mind. Right? Let's go to the book of Revelation, chapter 14. It's the book of Revelation, chapter 14, and verse number 1. And I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on the Mount Sinai, and with him 144,000, having his father's name written in their foreheads. So how is the father's name written in the elect's foreheads? Did they all sneak off and get tattoos in the night and repent for it? No, man. That's talking spiritually. That mark, that testimony is being sealed in your mind. You understand? Having their father's name written in their forehead. What's the Lord's name? Right, that's twofold. That's his actual name, Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua, and the name meaning he's coming in. You coming in the name of Satan because you're dealing with witchcraft and idolatry? Or are you coming in the name of the Lord because you're prophesying, right, and keeping the commandments? Let's go back to it. Let's go back to Revelation, the 13th chapter. This is Revelation, right, chapter 13, and verse number 17. And that no man might buy or sell, saith he that have the mark. Right? Now everybody says this is a physical, you have to physical buy and sell. All throughout the scriptures, everything isn't physical. You can buy and sell without having money, man. And that's in the Bible. So his mark is all of his philosophies, doctrines, his religion, right? His witchcraft, his sorcery. Let me get that real fast. The book of Revelations 18 and 23. And the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee, and the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. For by thy merchants and great Salakia, by thy merchants were the great men of the earth. For by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. So the Lord said that the nations, they got deceived by sorcery. His sorceries. Does that mean the so-called white man, he's standing on top of a mountain and he going like this and he doing all of that? That's not what that's talking about, man. He subtly pushes sorcery on you and you don't even know it, man. You're seduced, drunk, and you don't even know it. You're passed out. You think God loves everybody. You think the Lord is a so-called white man. You think the Lord is coming back for everybody. You think the Lord dealing with everybody. You think that you're saved. All of this is sorcery. To seduce somebody, the most sneakiest, deceitful, conniving ways to do it right in front of their face. And that's exactly what they say when you want to hide something, hide it in plain sight, man. I'm kind of looking for something, and it's damn right in my beard somewhere. We're kind of looking for it together. What the hell? Where did it go? It's right in front of you, man. For by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. Everybody speaks English. Why does the so-called Chinese man speak in damn English? We don't all speak Chinese. The Africans speak English. Why they not speaking French? Why they not speaking African? So-called Chinese man, why he not speaking Chinese? He's speaking English. So-called damn East Indian, why they not speaking foolish, right? They speaking that English, man. You got all of these different nations, they all drunk. What is the so-called Chinese man doing with a Christmas tree, man? He said, then he kind of put the thing on top of put the damn Chinese star on top of it, because he's drunk. He's seduced. Everybody in his land, everybody in his world is drunk through the so-called white man, man. The East Indian, they damn having Thanksgiving, right? All of the damn Arabians, they waiting for the ball to drop. They kind of grab and hold, right, to their uncles and their nephews. Because everybody's drunk, man. And how? By sorcery. Let's get that in Habakkuk. Right? And then we're going to go to the buying and selling. It's Habakkuk, right? Chapter 2 and verse number 5. Yeah, also because he transgressive by wine. So how does the damn devil get you? By his wine. He gets you drunk. What he does is he seduces you, and that's America. After she seduces you, she has you drink wine, which is her doctrines and philosophies. And after she literally gets you drunk, she uncover your nakedness, meaning take the spirit, understanding of the Lord off of you. Now you're naked, and she has sex with you, meaning commit spiritual fornication, and now you're defiled and dead. That's literally how it happens on a spiritual level. Habakkuk chapter 2, right, in verse number 6. Shall not all these take up a parable, right? Let me read 5 again. Yet also because he transgresseth by wine. He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. He's all the way in the Middle East, Iran, Afghanistan. He's everywhere he ought not to be, man. Neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desires as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Now, how does he get all people into himself? The so-called white man had the Chinese man in captivity. It's not what that's talking about. Meaning through his mind control, his sorcery, and his mark going out, which is the doctrines that he pushes, everybody's drunk. Everybody's drunk. Let's go to the book of Proverbs. Your grandmother drunk, mother drunk, auntie drunk, your boss is drunk at your job, your children are drunk. Everybody's drunk because everybody has the mark. This is the book of Proverbs, right? Salaki, bear with me. Chapter 23 and verse 29. Who have woe? Woe is death and literally and destruction. Who have woe, who have sorrow, who have contention, who have babbling, who have wounds without cause, who have redness of eyes, they that tarry long at the wine, they that go to seek mixed wine, meaning mixed doctrines of philosophies. Look not upon the wine when it is red. Meaning, don't look at this world, Christianity, goddamn fun, ass shaking, club, thought music, rap music. This is like some good wine. Count looking at it when it is red. When it giveth its color in the cup. When it moveth itself aright. At the last it biteth like a serpent. Like a what? Like a serpent. Who's the dragon? Who's the serpent? Who's the viper? Who's the adder? The so-called white man. He's going to bite you eventually. And sinneth, right, stingeth like an adder. Thine eyes shall behold strange women. And women are literally what? Babylon, the doctrines. And thine heart shall utter perverse things. I'm an African American. I'm black. I'm a Negro. I'm a nigga. I'm a superstar. I'm a rapper. You're just now uttering perverse things because you're drunk. Yeah, thou shalt be as he that lieth down in the midst of the sea, meaning the nations, or as he that lieth upon the top of the mast, meaning the nations, right? They have stricken me, shall thou, Salakia, say, and I was not stricken. They have beaten me, and I felt it not. When shall I awake? That's why the Lord said, wake up out of sleep. Wake up out of this dead estate that we living in, the valley of the dry. Lighten my eyes, lest I sleep the sleep of death. Right? Psalms chapter 13 and verse 3. I will seek it yet again. So having this mark is being marked in your mind through the philosophies and doctrines of this world and being drunk. Let's go to the book of 1 Ezra. A lot of people got the mark of the beast and they ain't his truth. They got blonde hair, right? They don't hate the so-called white man. They're trying to make all nations. They're trying to jam. They still destroy. So you tell me, how is it possible for the so-called white man to issue out a physical mark on all of the earth? Everybody's going to take it, no matter who you are. Somebody got to explain this. And if you don't take it, he's going to kill you. That's not what that's going into, man. Meaning what? Who hasn't heard about Christianity? Name somebody on this earth that's never heard about Christianity. I'll stop. Somebody haven't seen white Jesus, Christianity, known about Roman Catholicism, Egyptology, and somebody has not seen and pushed homosexuality, these movie stars, and all of this witchcraft of this earth, I'll stop teaching tonight. Somebody proclaim. Everybody has heard of it. Everybody has seen Caesar Borgia. Everybody has heard of Christianity. Everybody has heard of religion. Everybody has heard of all of these denominations, you understand, of everything, man. And his mark is being pushed out. Everything is being pushed out to the four corners of this earth of everything the so-called white man is giving a drink, man. English is pushed out. Movie stars, TV, all of these things are pushed out. You got damn people in the damn islands that know about that, man. Right? It's all in the islands. Right? Bleaching the skin, that's heavy in the islands. Wearing blonde hair, that's heavy in the islands. Speaking English, that's heavy in the islands. These things are heavy. Why? Because everybody's drunk and left their customs and culture to get down with the so-called white man. That's why he heapeth up unto him all nations of people. Right? So we got to understand this. We can get another one. It's the book of 1 Ezra, chapter 4, verse 37. Wine is wicked. The king is wicked. Women are wicked. all the children of men are wicked, and such as are all their wicked works. And there is no truth in them, and their unrighteousness also they should perish. So that's plain, right? So this world is wicked. All right, we can go back to it. This is the book of Revelation. Chapter 13 and verse number 17. And that no man might buy or sell, saith he that have the mark. I mean, you can't survive in this world, in this system, if you're not getting down with what he pushes and puts down. You would look like an enemy of the state, a terrorist, if you're teaching something that he's not pushing. Now imagine a man, he's outside minding his business, but he's teaching to go against the society. And you have rulership of the society looking down from a high window. You think you're going to be okay with that? Then he has people start cheering him on. Then an uproar is going to kick off. You will be an enemy of the state to teach the destruction of this land, man. When they wanted to prosper, when they wanted to continue, right? It says what? Might buy or sell. So buying or selling is spiritual as well, man. It could be physical, but it's much more spiritual, if anything, man. You have to understand that through the precepts. Let's go to the book of Sirach, chapter 27, and verse number 2. As a nail sticketh fast between the joints of the stones, so doeth sin sticketh close between buying and selling. So sin sticketh close between buying and selling. So you could sin it, like if you're not getting down with this system and buying and selling and receiving that mark, right? You can't survive. I mean, you could be committing sin, man. We're not trusting in this society, nor do we care in it, man, because it's vanity. It's going to be destroyed. What would you look like doing bowing down for the pleasures of a season, for a moment, when you can endure forever? Lord willing. It's the book of Sirach, chapter 51, and verse number 8. Salakia, 28. Sirach 51 and 28. Get learning with a great sum of money. So it says, get learning with a great sum of money, and get much gold by her. So how do you get learning with a great sum of money? Can you buy this truth? No. You know that not to be true when you read the book of Acts 8 and 18, when that man tried to buy the Holy Spirit. You can't get it, man. Right? You're not going to sit there and increase in knowledge because you're paying your Christian pastor church, man. Or you paying the damn servants to the... That's not going to happen, man. The Lord gives you wisdom, knowledge, understanding, discernment, the spirit of prophecy, not man and not money. That's talking about what? Get great sums of money with learning. You could spiritually buy and you could spiritually sell. Don't we waste out our substance and our gold? Didn't literally the parable, right, about the prodigal son, he went off and he spent all of his living with rot to his living. He spent all of his substance with rot to his living. Does that mean the northern kingdom, they kind of just, it kind of went like that, you know, got shekels of gold. What should I buy? That's by Caesar Borgia. That's by Shiva. That's by this. That's not what that's talking about, man. They went off and went the hell off, meaning they spent up the spirit of the Lord. And that's the money. They got rid of it where rot was living. Let's get that. Right? It's a lot of precepts we could go to on this, man. It's the book of Luke chapter 15 and verse number 11. And he said a certain man had two sons, which is symbolic for the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. And the younger of them said to his father, Father, give me the portion of goods that falleth to me, meaning my inheritance, what I have. And he divided unto him his living, meaning he gave him his money. And not many days after, the younger son gathered all together and took his journey into a far country. And there wasted his substance with rotous living. Meaning he got rid of all the substance that he had that his father gave, which was Yahweh while Yahweh Shah, what brought to his living, man. Buying this, buying that, buying this, buying that. He went the hell off. Now the northern king, we always been poor. That's not physical money. Meaning we spent up what we had. You understand our knowledge. Let's go to the book, right, of Isaiah 55 and verse number 1. Ho, everyone that thirsteth, come ye to the waters. The waters is the knowledge. If you thirsteth, meaning you don't have any understanding, come to the Lord, man. He's going to be the one that literally gives you that cold glass. Proverbs 25 and 25 has you to keep everything. You understand? And he that have no money, come ye, buy and eat. Yea, come buy wine and milk without money and without price. So you buying, right, literally the knowledge of the Lord, but that's not physically. You pray, you kind of beseeching the Lord, you kind of paying them off. All of this is spiritual. Meaning when you keep the commandments, you gain what? Rubies, gold, silver. You gain the cheap things that the Lord has unto you. And you keep it upon you. So if you buying and selling, right, it could be spiritual too. You got to understand that. Let's go to the book of Revelation chapter 13 and verse 17. That no man might buy or sell, meaning literally you're going to have his understanding, right? Or you're going to have the Lord's understanding. You're going to buy and sell under him, or you're going to literally buy right from the Lord. It's plain. You're going to keep what you have, right? Or you're going to waste your substance. Nobody's going to be able to survive in this system trusting in vanity and oppression. Say if he that have the mark. That's the only way you're going to be able to get down with what he going on, and unless you got the damn mark, man. And that mark, you're not going to be like this, kind of pull back your hair, right? Kind of open up your beard, right? That's not what that's talking about, man. That mark, again, is going into the doctrines and philosophies of the so-called white man. The first beast being the Roman Empire, the second beast being America. Or, right, the name, right, of the beast, or the number of his name. Now, the Lord deals with numerology in the scriptures also. 3, a number of completion, right? 4, a complete number. 7, a number of completion. 8, meaning infinite. 10, a number of completion. 12, a lower number of completion. Right? 40, a lower number of completion. And 1,000 is a number of completion. Now, time will not permit me to go through all of those precepts. That's a whole breakdown. But the Lord deals with numerology. So if you know anything about the scriptures and about what's written, you know 7 is the Lord's favorite number. That's a number of completion, right? Let me get that real fast. And his name and his number is 666. So it's completely falling short of 7. And 3 is a number of completion. Meaning he's 3 times completely falling short of perfection. He's falling short. That's why the Lord said in Ecclesiastes 1 and 15, that which is wanting cannot be numbered. That which is crooked cannot be made straight, which is the so-called white man. And that which is wanting, meaning wants to be counted, cannot be numbered. He will always fall down. You understand? Let's go to it. Right? Let's go to the book of Ecclesiastes. Right? Chapter 11 and verse 2. Give a portion to 7 and also to 8, for thou knowest not what evil shall be upon the earth. So the Lord is going into giving charity. Give a portion to 7, meaning the complete mouth. Hey, damn it, give it to 8, man. That's infinite. Meaning always give. That's the greatest thing you can do is charity. 1 Corinthians 13 and 13. So the Lord is saying, look, man, give unto a complete amount. Let's go to the book of Psalms chapter 12. And it reads, 12 and 6. The words of the Lord are pure words, as silver tried in a furnace of earth, purified 7 times. So the Lord said the words of the Lord are purified 7 times. And we know these words, right, to be perfect, without no spot, without no blemish, without no false doctrine, without no trip ups, without no nothing, man. These words are perfect. And they're purified, meaning they tried through the fire 7 times. And 7 is the number of completion. 6 would be falling short of that. 3 is the number of completion. The Lord was in the heart of the earth 3 days and 3 nights. Jonah was in a whale's belly 3 days and 3 nights. You understand? Peter denied the Lord thrice, right? Literally, that man that fell asleep while Paul was preaching fell from a 3rd loft, right? And fell down dead. So 3 is a number of completion also. We woke up in 3 days. In 3.5 days, we shall live. Hosea chapter 6 and verse 1. Revelations 11 and 11. It's a lot of precepts, but for the sake of time, we can go into a numerology breakdown for another night through the Spirit. Right? Let's go back to Revelation. Right? Verse 18. And it reads, I'm going to read 17 again. And that no man might buy or sell, save he that has the mark, right? The philosophies and doctrines, or the name of the beast, right? Coming in the name of literally America and all of his witchcraft, or the number of his name, right? Which is 666. Here is wisdom. Why does the Lord say here is wisdom? Because a carnal African damn heathen could know, let me see. Mark, put a mark right here. It's the chip. You know, kind of buy or sell. No, man, it takes a man to go into the precepts to understand what this is going into. That's why the Lord said here is wisdom. He didn't say here is the 5 o'clock news and kind of link it up with the scriptures. It's not what that's going into. It says here is wisdom. Now, under the mark is also the physical chip. So we're not telling anybody at any given time to take the chip. Do not take the chip. Because under the umbrella of his witchcraft and sorcery comes the chip, comes religion, comes with this, comes with that. This is the umbrella of his witchcraft. So a part of the mark also would be the chip, because that's what he's pushing of this beast. But it's not the chip as carnally pushed out as specifically the mark. If you have ears to hear. Here is wisdom. Let him that understandeth count the number of the beast. For it is the number of a man. And his number is 666, which is 666, destruction, wickedness, you understand? Falling short, right, of perfection. Let's get the book of Ecclesiastes 1 and 15. That which is crooked cannot be made straight. Who formed the crooked serpent? The Lord did, man. And he's wicked and he's literally crooked, man. He can't be made straight. There's nothing he can do. He can't get baptized. He can't go, he can't repent. He can't go study a couple books. There's nothing he can do. That which is crooked cannot be made straight. And that which is wanting cannot be numbered. It can never be numbered with the elect, can never be numbered with completion or perfection. It will always be wanting because it can never be perfected. Because he was made to be what? The wicked of the earth. So with that, that was Revelation, the 13th chapter, going into the 2 beasts, right? The Roman Empire, the America, going into the wonders, the signs of heaven. You understand? Going into the 7 heads and the 10 horns, going into the mark of the beast. Lord willing, this was edifying through the Spirit. You gain some understanding, some clarity. You gain more precepts. You gain the breakdown, or you gain the strengthening of faith, or going into the prophecies. So continue to watch, be steadfast, read, pray, fast, be diligent. Do everything you can do to make the calling of your election sure. So with that, I want to give all honor and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, Bahashima Mashiach, Malak Yahushua, Shalom.